Unpopular opinion. Grind culture is trash.
Ooh, period. I'm Mickey,
I'm Julia.
and we're strategic hippies.
We're not regular landlords, we're cool ones.
We're fellow freedom seekers helping business minded creatives and free spirits build wealth through real estate.
Welcome to the Strategic Hippie Show.
Julia. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
How would you describe responsibility?
Responsibility. It's funny that this comes up because lately I've really been admiring and acknowledging the specific trait of like decisiveness in people and how important I think that is in all of my different partnerships that take place in this life. And yeah, so I'm going to say decisiveness. And then the second part of that is, on a previous episode, and me and you like say this to each other all the time, like, am I a human being or am I a human doing? And I think it's the skill of discerning when to be a doer and when to be a being. Be a being.
Yeah.
And I have to say, every time I say human being, I'm thinking human being. I'm like trying not to say like a human being. I'm just a little bean.
Oh my gosh. Yo, this is such a tangent. But I was watching this anime of these little people, like they were called borrowers, and that's what they called big people, human beings.
It's so good. We're just a bunch of
Yes, we
beans
are
running
human
around.
beings. That's the Philly. Like I feel like we don't be saying G's.
No. They're just beans.
Well, I asked that because I saw this tweet that I felt like gunshots were ringing at how many times I was triggered in 140 characters.
I can't wait to see this.
Okay, so this guy, Just Giovanni, he tweets, "Y'all ever get tired of being the responsible one with family, friends, etc.? I need a rebrand." And at the Kaya Nova replied, "I think millennials are at the end of our generational healing energy, and many of us are approaching burnout. We rightfully need rest. So
We
many of us, dang, this girl, wait for the shots, okay? So many of us are the first to go to college, first to start a business, first to build wealth, first to be in therapy, first to travel, first to challenge traditional family norms. Millennials are exhausted having to launch every aspect of our lives. We tired." And it's this picture of this lady who had a day at Popeyes, okay?
we tired. We
I'm
tired.
tired, boss.
That goes back to like decisiveness. Like sometimes I'm like, you do it. Like, like I admire when I don't have to be the one, launching everything.
Yes. It's like I cannot look at my ability to self-start as like a punishment for someone's inability not to.
Yes.
You will not punish me. I will
Bars.
not view it as punishment that it's my role to be this person. This is everybody's divine right to
Yeah,
choose the
that's
life.
yucky. Like, can't we like rotation of service? Like, can't we I want to swap this name tag out for the day. Like you be the launcher, okay?
Julia quit.
I'm on sabbatical.
Listen, tired. So I feel like I'm unscribing from, as Tommy Pickles would say, responsibilities.
Unsubscribe. We gonna unsubscribe from responsibilities.
Okay, perfect.
Uh,
Oh, too funny. This is our first virtual um meetup. So as you all have seen, I was having a blast in Puerto Rico. And I'm just in so much awe of you for so many reasons, even though you just quit your responsibilities job, but you have a lot of tasks you are crushing in Puerto Rico. I'll reframe it that way. And I just was watching you cracking up. You're like wielding machetes, like making like views out of weeds, like cutting weeds to make views. You was fetching water,
I was actually fetching water.
literally fetching water. And I would just be like, yo, like you're going in, and this is my impression of you. You'd be like, I'm just playing.
So while Mickey was here, we had a vision board party, and it was just so sweet and so wholesome. And on my vision board, specifically the energy I want to embody here on this project is playground. And it's funny, I didn't realize that until, we were talking before this and we talked about play. And I'm like, I do feel like I'm playing. And we had such a fun conversation before this as well. Like, this is my play. Like this morning I went for a walk and I was like, better bring the machete just in case I get excited. Right. Because every time I go for a walk, it's like, oh man, I wish I had my machete, or like, so I'm just like wandering around and it's like, doo, 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 doo. It feels like play. And, you had shared with me that like play for you is like you're creating, and the things that, the writing and all of the things that you resonate with in terms of play. And I was like, wow, thank God they're different. Like, this would not be fun if we did the same thing. Like, who would do the rest?
Who would do the rest? Some might say we would have a totally different project experience situation.
Mm,
Like we would be creating together in a totally different way. Like our yin and yang of having different spaces we play in is exactly why this works.
absolutely. And, this has been a journey that we've been on for a few years now. And like, we just knew, like, at the core that we had this soul connection and that we were aligned in, how we move through the world and through real estate and through our business. And, it has evolved in the physical world so differently, right? So I know my story, and a lot of viewers may. Is like, I went from literally like building houses, right? And I was like, we talked a lot about grind culture and burnout, and I renovated, I think, almost 40 properties in Philly, and I was doing interior design, and I was teaching, and I was raising money, and I was doing all the things, and landlording, like sprinkle on top. And, now I just get to leave my phone inside and just go play and build this thing that is like, yes, real estate is the core of this project that I'm doing. It is a development project, but it's just so different. And the fact that, like, no matter how the physical journey changes for either of us, it's like the foundation and the connection is always the same.
Mhm.
And I just love that. And I appreciate you. And it was so much fun having these conversations. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be storytelling here together.
Yes. Oh, you're just the best at putting it all together. I'm so grateful for you as well because I have a real like scatterbrain in my real life. Like I can be very business when it comes to actual real estate stuff, and my writing comes in handy when I have to send emails to like tenants that I'm like drafting emails for congrats you got the apartment, Or when I was in sales, I would literally help other agents on my team. Like they would tell me a situation and I would help them craft the response. I'm also that person in friendships too. Like
Yes.
it's just like, like I'm grateful that writing is my gift, and it
Mm,
comes through in like doing our copywriting, writing our emails. And my sweet spot for play is when I can take like those like pure words that, or like feelings that are just very much me, and bring some lightheartedness and silliness to it. Like I feel like I get downloads to tell jokes because joy and laughing is like, that's my bread and butter. Like if we're not doing that, I don't think
why
we're
would
doing
right.
anything.
Oh, I love that. And, I wanted to, I love, I also just want to add in, like, I love that this is a platform where like two silly, creative entrepreneurs and real estate investors get to just like show up and share the journey and hopefully help other people on their journey where it aligns. And,
Mhm.
we've been talking a lot about different forms of alignment and like what that looks like. On the last few episodes, it's come up a bunch. And, I really today wanted to talk about a little bit more because, at the end of the day, this is just about being honest and where we're at and what's working for me. And I really love the 7 spiritual laws of success. And there was a strategic hippie Saturday, which by the way, we host one once a month. It's a amazing community of people coming together, different creative entrepreneurs and investors, using mindfulness as a foundation for business and real estate. And it's just such a beautiful time. We do it once a month. And on a previous one, we were exploring the 7 spiritual laws of success by Deepak Chopra. And the one that I've been clinging to is the law of least effort. So I have this quote: put every effort into organizing your life, but remember that the ultimate organizer is nature. Don't try to steer the river. When nature is most productive and creative, it does not work, it plays. The best work flows from us effortlessly. Putting up resistance to life ultimately never succeeds. Allow the gift of spirit to come to you. That's Deepak
Mm.
Chopra. So I feel like there's a few layers to that. And we talked about play. And I want to dig into, what effortless effort really means in terms of, being mindful and, prioritizing alignment in this journey. But what I want to ask you first is, Mickey, what does play mean to you? What does that look like?
Yes. So definitely joy. I think of like youth and silliness. Even when I think about friendship, I feel like friendship for me is like that core bit of youth. And as friendships mature, it's like that's when you start bringing grown parts in. And it's like where you can grow with people and you can have different relationships with things. And it's like whenever you lose that like levity, that's when you're out of play and you're in work. So even my relationship with play, and like I mentioned, writing, when I start to get like antsy or irritated or like second guess kind of what I'm writing, I'm officially out of play and now I'm being too grown.
Mhm.
So I really feel like play for me is a connection to youth and just a spirit of genuine joy. Like there's no like the outcomes don't matter. I'm just present in the play. Like I'm present in the joy and the laughter. Or even if like I'm writing something that's like, a bit more of like a pain release, like in like a journaling or something, it's like that I would still qualify as play because it's coming from a part of me that isn't thinking. Like it's
Mhm.
just words flowing out of me. Like whenever my brain's involved, bye girl.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So you just said so many things that I'm like, I like grab a pen. I'm like, oh my gosh, so many good things. But if you, I couldn't keep up. But the things that like really stood out to me is flow, right? Like you use the word flow and you use the word or the words it was detachment from the outcome, right? So like you were
Mhm.
in joy and we call it the flow state, right? So when you're just and present, being
Yes.
present. And you said all of these things so great, like in such a beautiful, eloquent way. It was like a lot of messages and a few words. And there's so many things there that you know I want to pull out, and I'll focus on, let's say, like presence and the detachment of outcomes, because I wanted to share this story. And the involvement of my journey in real estate and in business started about 7 years ago. And I can honestly say I was a completely different person 7 years ago. Like, who is that girl? I don't know her. And the amount of growth that I've experienced, mostly through challenges, like it's just been amazing, right? And I went from overworking, and in that journey, like learning that busyness is a trauma response, right? Grind culture is trash, like I lost my sense of identity. And
Mm.
I was loving what I was doing, and I'm so passionate forever about real estate investing as a wealth building tool, but getting lost in the sauce, right? The wealth building journey is a spiritual journey. And I didn't really explore what that meant to me individually until a few years in. And, control is a big part of my story. I have these ideas. I'm setting out to do these things. Nothing can stop me. I'm going to get it done. It served me okay, right? Like it served me well. I accomplished some things, but like, did I suffer a lot? Absolutely.
Mm.
Could I have chosen an easier, softer way? Absolutely. And
Mhm.
that's where I'm heading now, right? Like I have a lot of skills and experience and knowledge, and then a lot of ways of what doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing for us is alignment and joy and purpose and flow state, because nothing else matters, right? Like I can own hundreds of units and a dozen businesses, but if I'm not happy, for what? Like, but why? What is my why? So,
Mm-mm.
with all that being said, it's like today I'm on a brand new business venture, and it is incorporating real estate development, but also community and spirituality and health and wellness and regenerative agriculture and all of these
Totally.
different things that are like so new to me and that bring me so much joy and play. And, what I've learned most importantly from all of that is like control doesn't work for me. Right. And, I want to, you know, I'm a product of like a capitalist upbringing, right? Like my thoughts and feelings towards what I do and what my goals aren't sourced the way I wish they would. So I'm trying to like unlearn a lot of things. And there's an abundance of new ideas that work for us, new to me at least, right? So like the root of suffering is attachment, right? The Buddha. So what does that mean? The root of suffering is attachment to outcomes, attachments to things happening. Like I want this thing, and if I don't get it, I'm not going to be happy. Right? That's suffering. So,
Mhm.
I was sharing the other day, and it almost like is uncomfortable to say out loud, but the last at least few months I've been basking in effortless effort, alignment, all of these very different patterns that bring me so much joy. And when someone asks, so what's your business plan? my business plan is that I'm open for what the universe, God, nature, what happens for me. And my role is to be a participant. And like that,
Mm.
like from if you like said that to like a Fortune 500 business person, like they'd be like, that's dumb.
Get this girl out of here.
That's that's silly. Like you need a business plan. And I've had business plans and I've wrote pro formas of different things, but what I've learned is if I get attached to those things, then I'm
Mhm.
missing out on what can happen to me. And I wanted to, I was recently reading The Untethered Soul, and this really provided the reminder to be present and a mindful participant in your life and to move beyond the thoughts and feelings that keep you from experiencing unconditional happiness. I want to really, bold, underline, italicize the word participant, right? So,
Mhm.
like, at this point, I trust myself to make good business decisions, to be conscious, to take my time, to stay, to say no to things that don't, align with what my big why is. But what the more important thing is to be here and to to allow what I'm going to use the word God out of convenience has in store for me, right? Because when I get what I want, I'm leaving something on the table. And I believe
Mm.
that because I've tried it my way. And like the unfolding of this has just been so incredible. Like the amount we try to keep our episodes under 30 minutes. So I'll save some stories for the future because this project isn't going anywhere and neither am I. But just the amount of like serendipity that has been taking place in this space for me lately is wild. And like
Mhm.
yesterday, a friend of mine who it is from Philly, was visiting a friend. That friend is friends with my work exchange person who's here. And
Oh,
she ended up,
wow.
it was like, and then she gets here and she's like, isn't this crazy? And I'm like, at this point, not really.
Mm.
The way things are working out for me, no, it's not really that crazy because I'm just showing up and being a participant and look at how it's unfolding for me. So all
Yes.
that to say, effortless effort and really
Mhm.
try to, be present and to detach from outcomes and protect myself from suffering. So
Ooh,
that's
protect yourself from suffering. And I mean, that was a lot. Like, I'm just basking in it. And even you introducing me to the Untethered Soul while I was down there, and a friend literally texting about the book while the book was in my hand. So, to that alignment, literally, yes. And it's no more surprises. This is just, it is what it is. This is life now. And we did those vision boards, and you put playground, and I put a big orange bright side, because that's my opportunity to change how the naysaying misattitude me might look at things, and what is the reality of a positive outcome. Because when I really look at my life, there are a lot of positive outcomes. So why am I letting my little pea brain focus on the negative parts?
your little bean. What's my
I'm getting a
little
little
pea
vain.
brain? Right. It's another one
And
of those things. Like when you say this, when you share this story, I remember when that happened, and it's like, isn't that crazy? No, I feel
at
like
all.
we're like magicians, right? We're just
Oh
like in
yeah.
this flow of abundance and like manifesting. And man, what a weird place to be.
Yes. Exactly. It's so crazy because like you how you said that your integrity and how you show up in business, you're going to leave something on the table. We are in the service business just in nature. Like, Julia, you took such good care of me when I was down there, and it's like, this is just how you are, and I could feel that, and it was just so sweet. And when I reflect on like sweet messages I get from people I've worked with, and I've shared stories, I too will share save some stories for future episodes of being in really nasty deals, but the people I served still have a lot of respect and high remarks to say. And it's on who you are. And I'm so grateful that we are, we grew up in real estate for real, because that's the other part. I don't think we've actually addressed the elephant in the room. We also are like the youngest older, like the youngest investors. So I like consider myself like a young middle-aged woman sometimes because
I don't think about age like ever. And the other day, I was really like, damn, I'm like 15 years younger than this group of people. Because it's like, what if I fail? And it's like, I'll be all right.
oh, so good. Like this, like I'm just getting started.
Mm,
So it's very um I'm trying to describe like just like back to that youth, back to that play. Like I pray that I maintain this because my goal, and when I knew okay things weren't for me, it's like this is making me bitter. And I set a very clear intention like in high school, like I don't ever want to be bitter. Like you look at and like the lunch lady and she's got an attitude, and it's like, yo, I never want to be that person that's just like irritated. And then I started to be that person, and it's like, oh my god, how did I get here? So I just had to get so light, and I'm still getting so light. And it's life. We're going to get heavy, we're going to get light, and it's going to be a flow.
ebbs
And
and flows.
just maintaining that perspective is why this show isn't so important to us, and why we can keep showing up and just being ourselves. And if being ourselves is in play, fine, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I'll choose this path all day. And,
Mhm.
I wanted
This
to add
cat, oh my gosh.
that is wild.
Oh.
So I just want to kind of circle back and mention, yeah, how cool is it that we started investing in real estate in our 20s? But how much cooler is it that real estate investing is such an incredible tool to generate wealth, to generate additional streams of revenue at any point, right? So, like, I was talking with my mom about this, and, we're like, you could be in your 60s and then within a few years be able to have a whole different experience for retirement just off of
Mm.
real estate. And, I'm forever grateful for real estate as a tool and for real estate being the asset class that I chose to, build wealth and to provide the financial freedom to get me here and on this project. I'm so grateful. But yeah, I just wanted to like shout out real estate.
Yes, that's my boo.
That's my boo. Like, so we were talking, and we're like really excited to do a new workshop. Right? We want to start hosting webinars on a
Yes.
specific topic.
So this is very timely because I think you're in the most epic house hack in the history of house hacking, which is living in a unit and then renting out other rooms or units. And you have this really spectacular 15-acre, was it 10, 15 bedrooms? How many bedrooms is it?
There's currently 10.
10 bedrooms. Oh, currently, that means more TBD. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Yes.
I am a double house hacker. You are a countless house hacker. Which house hack would this be for you?
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is 4. So it was like, it's crazy. As you were sharing that, I was just thinking like how someone like me could be here. Right? Like 8 years ago, I was like working 3 jobs, somehow didn't have much money, and I just like dreamed of this life that incorporated wealth building and financial freedom on my terms. And you know, the biggest thing I ever did for myself was remove my housing expense, because people's mine and generally speaking, people's biggest expenses are housing.
Yeah.
So if you can eliminate your biggest expense, what would that do to the amount of money that you are making or need to make? And how would your life change? So I'm always like, who's paying this mortgage?
Who's paying this mortgage? You know what? Is that the name of this class? Who's paying this mortgage?
We figured it out.
And there it is. So definitely, I'm excited to share everything we've learned throughout the time. I guess for me, it's been about 10 years, and probably about the same for you, close enough. 7. In dog years, that's you grandma house hacker in dog years. So that's how these real estate years be feeling, child. Like,
I feel that way.
6 months be 2 years sometimes. So I'm so grateful. Of course, we'll cover all the like logistics of property management that we've learned, how to actually finance and get funding and all that stuff, and
what it's really like.
Exactly. And I'm like, leave
Don't
it to us.
Don't believe the influencers.
Listen,
we're gonna keep it real.
I'm about to say, like, leave it to us. We're not gonna get stuck there and not tell you the real tea, because your life really does. It's impacted by house hacking. It's just the duality of all the experiences, and that's why it's forever both of them.
Yeah.
Strategic and prioritize your lifestyle.
Pick your heart.
Pick your heart.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, because everyone told me, like, before I got started, you don't know how hard it's going to be. And I'm like, that might be true, but it's also really hard going to a job that I hate.
Yeah.
And not having any time for myself and never having money. So let me try this hard.
Yes. Running a business is hard. Being poor is hard. You know?
Which is harder.
Yeah. Pick your heart.
Pick your heart.
Pick your heart.
Join the next Who's Paying My Mortgage? How to House Hack live webinar by clicking the link in the description box or going to strategichippie.com to sign up. Now let's get back to the show.
Love you.
I know. And I love it. And I'm so glad that we I describe it as lament and love about real estate, because the reality is, because we see the world this way, we can't unsee it. So as much as I can sometimes be frustrated in the process, I can't unsee how it is impacting my life. And while I'm definitely a more long-term and conservative investor, starting so early really helps me out, because I always have like back pocket 100K in a house that I got a 15-year mortgage on. Like, thank God I did that.
We gonna be all right.
Okay. So it's like, the more I explore what my creativity looks like, the more I allow myself to go through this process. Like you said, we are documenting how we're figuring it out. Like, when I'm really ready to go in on like the next project that's going to catapult me, or it's like, you know what? I'm really in a space where I know my creative endeavor needs X amount and I have this I can pull from. Like, that is wildly powerful. And it's like proof that you don't have to, it's not going to look the same for everybody. And you can use your strengths. And no matter what part of life you're going to learn lessons, and it's about your mentality and perception if you're open to change. So real estate is just the I'll use a like a spiritual term, the modality in which we are like in the self-discovery process. Like it could have been anything. Like we could have met each other as like accounting girlfriends, or like
Mhm.
stock market, like like stock market girlfriends, or even like in the real communication space. Like we could have met as colleagues at
Mhm.
like NBC or something, and you're
Mhm.
gonna have your like career life lessons there, and how powerful that our career of choice is something for us. And when I think about my missteps, or what I would consider my missteps, that everything is just an experience and a lesson, but where I had to like clear out in me being in sales, I was putting other people's needs before mine. And I have to be very careful about that, because I know my thing is that laughing, joking, playing thing. And it's like, okay, you can't get so caught up in that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And I just have to be more disciplined with myself. Like, you can't even be a referral agent until you get a couple lots under your belt. Like, I need
Mhm.
your next transaction to be for you, baby girl. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because like it's it's not even about being selfish. It's about self-preservation, so that I have the energy to show up where my gifts can really flourish.
Ooh, that part, that
Yes.
alignment. And
Mhm.
special shout out to house hacking. Where you at?
Who's
Because
paying my mortgage?
who's paying my mortgage? Not it. You ever play that game?
Not
Ghost,
it.
ghost. Not it. And that being such an important part of both of our journeys, and really
Mhm.
providing the sense of security in what we do because our housing has been paid for. We ain't paying
Oh
no
my
mortgage.
gosh. Who Oh, that's it, that's it, not it. Who's paying my mortgage? Not it.
We are so grateful to be of service through the Better Than Success real estate investing community. If you're ready to explore freedom on your own terms too, we would love to journey with you on this wealth building adventure. Check out the description box to join our next Financial Freedom for Strategic Hippies webinar and learn more about Julia, me, Mickey, and BTS. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to our channel. Peace. We'll see you soon.